And we say good morning to you this Thursday, 18th day of January 2018. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is back at it, full of vim and vigor.
Well, maybe vim, if not vigor.
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me, I'm out of vigor. That's on I'm writing that down right now, Steve. Thank you for reminding me. Buy more vigor.
Pick me up a little vim while you're there, too.
I'll do it. So Costco's got the big ones.
Okay, gotcha.
I love that. It is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Dan Kuntz, your host, Steve Hare. To my immediate left is our news director, Kat in control, and it's down the road we go. Good show for you today. Normally, I don't promise a good show, but I think we had a great guest list. We got Jerry Leah Crawford and Sarah Erdahl patiently standing by.
That's right, with the United Way for Chelan, Douglas County.
Looking forward to that. I did some research. I like to prepare for my interviews. I'd like to prepare. I don't often do so. But having been familiar with the United Way of Chelan and Douglas counties, I did a little, they've been around for 79 years in this area.
Absolutely.
They became the United Way of Chelan and Douglas counties in 1974.
Before that, it was the Community Chest.
Community Chest, and before that, it was something else. But in some sort of incarnation, they've been around since 1939.
Interesting.
That's pretty impressive. We're going to have a great conversation with Sarah and Jerry Lee. That's the second half of the show. First half of the show features your weather forecast, which is coming up. It's January, and nothing real surprising out there. Steve will have your newscast. We got sports, including highlights from wrestling last night that we covered here live on the NCW Live channel. The Obscure Holiday, we have birthdays. We have Today in History, and a brand new series of Everyone is Entitled to Mike McNally's Opinion. Mike came, what?
Those are usually pretty good.
Yeah. Mike is. I give Mike carte blanche when I approached Mike and said this is something I'd like to add to the program. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. When this show expanded to an hour last April, we needed to add more elements, and I thought this is perfect. Mike can come in and do a 1-minute commentary on whatever he wants to talk about. I said,
Mike doesn't shy away from the issues.
No. I said, Mike, whatever you want to talk about is fine. Just don't use, the 7 words that you can't say on television. Outside of that, you can do whatever you want. And so Monday, he came and did Street Talk and other stuff, which is a live program. Mondays at 10 o'clock. And then he stayed afterwards and he recorded some brand new opinions.
Oh.
So, but I'm actually starting to
hear.
I'm actually starting to vet them now.
Yeah.
just to find out what Mike's talking about. So, a brand new opinion from Mike McNally is coming up as well. What else is going on? Something else. Oh, I was going to do my fortune cookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just to see what we got
read us
here.
your fortune.
So let's see what we have here. It's got daily numbers. Lotto 6s. I'm not going to. Oh, it's on the other side. Life is a tragedy for those who feel and a comedy for those who think.
Ooh, okay. Very didactic.
Yeah. Well,
you might say.
See, that's one of the 7 we were talking about, Steve. Now we're going to get in trouble. It's 3 minutes after the hour. Let's go around North Central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with our super duper really cool cameras. Maybe the highlight of the show is the first segment right here.
Right here, yeah.
And then after that, our ratings just go right into the toilet. That is the cross camera, of course. And that looks like, Steve, to me, that is pulled back quite a bit. And is it me, or are we seeing a little bit more of East Wenatchee than we normally do?
I don't know. I don't like.
Yeah, it is. Okay, Caitlin says in our IFB that, that's a little more to the east. So East Wenatchee a little bit more in picture there. What a gorgeous view that is.
Pan right.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful, beautiful view. I just love that. The way the geography of our valley is so incredible, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Isn't it just great? Camera 2, we find out together now.
Why?
Billy Goat, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's Billy Goat. Look at that. It's like being in an airplane, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, really. Looking down on the cloud layer there. Somewhere under there is Pateras.
Yes. Billy Goat is one of our highest cameras that we have. That's way, way up there. Because the Sky-Fi towers that power the Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet, they need to be in high locations.
Kind of like a fire lookout.
Yeah, exactly. Do they even have those anymore?
Oh, yeah.
The manned ones?
Yeah, I believe they still have the one up Entiat.
Okay.
Upper Entiat, yeah.
We hiked up a couple of years ago. We hiked up to the one above Mazama. That's quite a hike, but boy, what a view that is.
And they got that one that they relocated down below on 97A there at the Fire Interpretive Park there.
Yeah, that you can drive by and take a look at. Camera 3, what are we looking at? That's Jump Off Ridge.
Jump off. Wow, look at the sunshine.
That was Jump Off Ridge. Jump Off Ridge. Oh, there it is. Jump Off Ridge.
Look at the sunshine over there.
So that is way out there. You see there is, of course, the Wenatchee Valley.
Okay. I thought that was...
That's the monitor. Okay. You don't care. It's a technical thing. So that is Jump Off Ridge. That is an incredible view, isn't it?
What a winter wonderland, huh?
That is an incredible view. Very difficult to get there. this time of the year. In fact, you can't drive there. You cannot drive to Jump Off Ridge this
No.
time of the year. For one thing, it's gated off because they have a bunch of transmitters and repeaters. And
Without a snowcat.
without a snowcat. And then, of course, you have to have a key, too. So that's an incredible view. Look at that, Jump Off Ridge. It's nuts, beautiful. And finally, the fourth camera will take us to Waterville. I believe that's Waterville to your left, Steve. That little group of lights, that's downtown Waterville. And to the right of downtown Waterville is suburban Waterville.
Home of the Shockers.
Yes, home of the Shockers. And a little bit farther to the right is Douglas. You can see downtown Douglas. And then a little bit farther to the right, Steve, at the very edge is suburban Douglas. So that's way up at the plateau.
The Greater Douglas
The
area.
the Greater Douglas
Up there in
area.
the Withrow, Douglas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
area.
beautiful area up there. Really nice. So there you go. That's all courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi High-Speed Wireless Network. We were supposed to get considerable rain yesterday afternoon and yesterday evening. Didn't really happen. It drizzled, but it wasn't much. It wasn't enough to even kick the rain gauge into gear. It was Puget Sound got hammered.
Oh, they got heavy winds. They got power outages over there, trees down, and everything
Tons
else.
of rain. But us, we kind of skirted by. So the forecast today has changed from what we were giving you 24 hours ago from the National Weather Service. Here you go. Partly sunny, 43 degrees. We have a little bit of fog. That frontal system came through, and behind that is a little bit of light fog and clouds. And because the clouds and the fog is so light, it's going to have a chance to burn off.
Wow.
And that means we'll see some sunshine today. 43.
43, that's
About 10 degrees
warmer than normal.
Yep,
yeah.
about 10 degrees warmer than normal, as a matter of fact. Nothing expected to come out of the sky today or tonight, nor Friday. Friday, we're going to go back to the clouds and slightly cooler with a high of 39. Friday night, weak system, about a 25 to 30% chance of precipitation. It could be light snow, it could be light rain, it could be a rain-snow mix, it could be nothing at all. At 30%, that's right at that. Do we put the graphic up or not kind of number?
Yeah, yeah.
And we do. To the weekend we go. Saturday, mostly cloudy and a high near 40. Saturday night, another system, again, now packing a big punch. Overnight lows Saturday, as you see, about 30, and then we get into Sunday. We're going to have some snow in the morning, Steve. There's a very good chance of measurable snow early Sunday morning. Sunday morning, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, it should be done. Wow. Apparently, that's not supposed to happen. Look at you, Steve.
I have my head in the clouds.
When you exit your earthly vessel and go to heaven, that's what it's going to look
That's
like.
what.
Yeah, right there. So another storm
Hopefully, I'm
system.
looking down and not up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're going to heaven. I know you are. New snow accumulations of a couple of inches early on Sunday, but as you can see with the forecast high of 36, whatever we get is not going to last very much. Light snow possible Sunday night, and then we go back to partly sunny skies.
Well,
on Monday.
this forecast for La Nina is kind of petering out.
Yeah, it hasn't really
The
happened.
later
but-
we get into the season here.
Yeah, but it should be pointed out the first day of winter was December 21st, so we're
Right.
still really in early winter. You know, winter doesn't end till March, late March, early April. When is the spring solstice?
You're the meteorologist here, or the forecaster, I should say.
Google, when is the spring solstice? Oh, I don't have it on.
Yeah.
Let's do your past report from the Washington State Department of Transportation. We're going to give you some live cameras from what's going on up in the Cascades. That, of course, is I-90 Snoqualmie Pass. And at the summit right now, traction tires are advised. Roadway is bare and wet. You will find some snow and slush just at the summit, Steve, that 5-mile stretch when you climb up and over. Outside of that, the roadway is pretty much bare and wet, but there's enough snow and slush. They went ahead and posted a traction tire advisory, and it is snowing on I-90. Stevens Pass. Traction tires are advised there. It's a rain-snow mix at the summit, as you can see with the camera there. There is some compact snow and ice on the roadway on Stevens Pass, so there's an advisory there. Blue, it's looking good. No advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is bare and wet. You see, that's at the very summit. And so once you get that, again, that 5-mile stretch, as you get to the very last part of it, and then you go over the top, that's when you're going to find the
You're
compact
gonna get some snow, yeah.
Yeah, and then it kind of tapers off. No advisories or restrictions on Blewett. There is some patchy fog, however, you need to be aware of. Your forecast for the mountain passes today, couple of inches of snow, that's it. Tonight, couple of inches of snow, that's it. Friday, couple of inches of snow, that's it. Friday night, maybe 4 inches of snow. And we'd mentioned how we're going to get some snow on Sunday here on the valley floor, especially Sunday morning. They're expecting a couple of inches as well.
So we're looking at about a foot of snow then by the end of the work week.
Maybe. 1 to 2 inches. I'll just go through it. Thursday 1 to 2, Thursday night 1 to 2, Friday 1 to 2, Friday night 2 to 4, and then 3 to 5 inches on Saturday.
inventory, as the PUD says.
But the nice thing about that is when it snows a little bit at a time, the plows can stay ahead of the game. You know, so it doesn't really affect the passes a great deal. It's that big, heavy dumping of snow when they get the spin outs and the traffic can't move and the plows can't stay ahead of the Mother Nature. That's when things get dicey.
And it's pretty wet stuff too, so it's not really contributing to the skiing. Good skiing conditions at this point.
Yeah, it's a lot of ski resorts are reporting they got plenty of snowfall, you know, but the snow is not the kind that skiers really like. You know, they love the powder.
Oh yeah.
They love the powder.
Pow pow, as they say.
It is 11 minutes after the hour. Caitlin, our producer, says we have to keep talking for a second because something's going wrong with our TriCaster.
Oh.
Steve, you know got any good recipes you want to pass along?
Well, I just had a great blueberry muffin that my wife just made, and
I will go ahead.
Those are up for sampling later today by the staff.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. How many did you bring?
Well, just enough.
Well, define just enough. We have 16 full-time employees.
I've got something, I think, for Caitlin and something for you.
Are they sitting at your desk?
They are, as a matter of fact.
You know, Sarah and Jerry Leah may be eating them as we speak.
No, they wouldn't do
They
that.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Before I forget, my guest for the second half of the show, Sarah Erdahl, the interim executive director of the United Way of Chelan-Dukes Counties, and Jerry Leah Crawford, who is the campaign co-chair. The other campaign co-chair, Linda Harold, is not available. And of course, the other thing is that they picked these two. Jerry Leah, of course, is on the East Wenatchee City Council, and Linda Harold is on the Wenatchee City Council. So
That's right.
Good idea. Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Before we do so, one more time, my fortune of the day today. Life is a tragedy for those who feel and a comedy for those who think.
Laugh.
There you go. We're going to take a quick 1 minute break. When we come back, Steve Hare will have your news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, broadcasting live this morning from Studio 42 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
It's happening now at Wenatchee Valley Mall. PetSmart has come to town and they're throwing a great event. 3 great events to be exact. Stop by January 20th starting at 9 a.m. and enter to win prizes, coupons, and free services. Join Pet Perks and be entered to win a $250 PetSmart prize package. PetSmart has just what you need with hundreds of exclusive products for your specific pet needs. And leashed pets are always welcome at PetSmart, so stay tuned for all the PetSmart grand opening events.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Again, I'm Steve Hare with all your news from North Central Washington. First of all, on the business front on this Thursday morning, Alcoa stock is trading higher this morning as the company releases its fourth quarter earnings report. The company reports $11.7 billion revenue for the year. That's up 25% from the previous year on higher alumina and aluminum prices. But company CEO Roy Harvey said during yesterday's webcast that there are no immediate plans to restart the Wenatchee Works smelter.
The timing is the middle part of this year. It would be around, I believe, June or July. And the amount is around $63 million. We've not made a decision on whether we would restart Wenatchee at this point, and we'll be running through the numbers and discussions with Chelan PUD in the first quarter of this year.
The Wenatchee smelter curtailed its operations back in 2016, resulting in the layoff of over 400 employees. Meanwhile, 2017 saw soaring aluminum prices, which allowed the company to post strong earnings. In fact, NASDAQ projects if current market conditions keep up for another year, then they're saying that Alcoa's business could get even stronger and its rainy day fund even larger. An official with the San Francisco-based Diamond Foundry says the company could be operational in Wenatchee as early as the second quarter of this year. Company's Chief Operating Officer Kyle Gazay provided an update yesterday morning at a special economic development breakfast program hosted by the Chelan County Port.
What are we planning to do for the next immediate future hopefully get the keys to a beautiful new building. Then we'll start applying the infrastructure, kind of the foundation and heart of the equipment. Next, we'll bring up our reactors, get that out, commission the facility, make sure everything's running properly, and then our production ramp begins.
And again, Gazay also explained how Diamond Foundry selected Wenatchee for its second foundry on the site of a former Stamilt fruit packaging facility that was destroyed in the Sleepy Hollow fire.
We looked all over the world. I mean, it was really, when we picked this next place, we really vetted almost every location in America, very strategically throughout Canada, Europe, and Asia, and we came back to here. And three main reasons kind of contributed to that. First, location. Location. We really wanted to keep the technology in the United States. That was something that was important to me, important to our founding team. American made meant something to us, and so we wanted to keep it here. Ease of execution. To be able to have our hub of our technology that close, hopefully an hour and a half, a plane flight away, meant a lot to us and to our team and our ability to move forward and execute. Secondly, energy source. As I said, we came from the solar industry. We're carbon neutral certified. The energy source was really important to us. We knew that whether it be solar, hydroelectric, wind, that we wanted to use alternative energy, and that was going to be very important to us where we chose. Lastly was the community. Like I said, I've known my co-founders for 12 years. 9 of the first 10 people that we hired I've known for and worked with for over a decade. We're a very close-knit community. We stay late. We know each other very well. And so we really wanted to find a community that we thought, you know, both the people we'd be hiring, the team that we would build, the people that we could grow with, and then the outside community. Well, it took a couple trips to start to feel that, but I mean, right from the beginning, Wes, the Stamilt family, seeing their execution here was pretty important. Patrick, I mean, everything that Craig's done for us, and introducing us to the community, all the governing officials that we met, Steve, Ben, thank you so much. It just gave us a ton of confidence in the people that we're going to be working with and the community that we're in.
Again, that's Kyle Gazay, who's the Chief Operating Officer for Diamond Foundry. Now, Gazay says the company will employ up to 50 people, and he assures NCW Live News that most of those will be hired from the local labor market. Good news there. Moses Lake is on a roll, literally, with a casino theme in mind. The Moses Lake Chamber of Commerce recently held a business expo to celebrate the city's growth in industry and in retail. Here's Debbie Doran Martinez of the Moses Lake Chamber to tell us more about the big expo.
Hello, my name is Debbie Doran Martinez, and I am the CEO of the Moses Lake Chamber of Commerce. And we are here tonight at the Business Expo 2018, which is a casino theme, and Moses Lake is on a roll. So we're celebrating the recent growth that we've had and the anticipated growth that's going to continue. And this is an opportunity for businesses to come and be on display. We're expecting about 700 or more people to come through tonight, and to see all the businesses, the products, the services that are available right here in our town. Business is very good, and we continue to see growth. We're very optimistic about new industry coming in, creating new jobs, and then with that, more retailers and hospitality entities coming to town. So we've had several announcements recently of a couple new restaurants and a couple new hotels. We continue to do recruiting in those arenas, as well as just traditional soft good retail.
In other good economic news here for North Central Washington, 2017 was a good business year for Pangborn Memorial Airport. Officials say despite weather-related flight cancellations in January, February, and December, and then in addition flight crew-related cancellations in July and August, there were still 2,000 more passenger boardings compared to 2016, an almost 2% increase.
The demand is strong and growing stronger. We went from 60%, we're at now 82% employments, a percentage of I call it occupancy on the plane, but on outbound planes, we're at 82%. So that's an incredible number. This is in contrast to a couple of communities around the state, Moses Lake and Walla Walla, who have either lost their service altogether or down to maybe one flight a day. So instead of that, the alternative is we're by percentage, I think we're the fastest growing regional airport in the state of Washington. This is really healthy.
Again, that Chelan County Port District Commissioner Rory Turner said the plans to add a daily nonstop flight to San Francisco Bay Area also moving forward. Said the port is awaiting word on grant funding to match over $400,000 in local funding to help attract another commercial airline for that San Francisco service. Also, it'll now be up to area voters on whether or not to approve a Link Transit 0.2% sales tax increase to fund Sunday bus services, have more frequent routes, and to provide longer hours of service. At a special Link Transit Board meeting earlier this week, the board decided to place the issue on the upcoming November ballot. In fact, Link board member Kevin Overbay explains why the board decided to wait until this fall.
We really want to make sure that it's transparent, that they understand exactly why it is that Link is asking for the increase in sales tax, what would actually be provided to the citizens with regards to the improvements to the Link system, and how that was going to look. And so, realistically, we were going to take a step back. We wanted to do our due diligence. We wanted to be transparent, and basically wanted to let them know, give the voters an opportunity to actually have all of that information, in their hands before they actually cast their ballot.
I know here at the Transportation Council meeting this morning, there are also some questions about, well, why doesn't Link just raise the fares instead of going to the sales tax?
Yeah, the fares actually, even if they were to raise them, to double them, it would actually only provide about $600,000 additional revenue. The sales tax increase, which when you really break it down, it's about 2 cents. Once the 2 cent amount would be implemented, it would be 2 cents on $10 or 20 cents on 100. Would actually run about $8 per person or $24 a household. Really comes out to be about $6 million revenue versus the $600,000 revenue. And so realistically, by raising the fares, it only generate 10% of what the sales tax would generate. So and that would not be enough to actually increase the services that were identified by those folks that took the survey that was sent out this last year.
And again, the board reached a consensus that a phased-in request over 2 years with separate 0.1% hikes per year was still the preferred choice. 2 Link surveys indicated riders wanted the service improvements and would be willing to pay more for them with increased sales taxes. That's your news to this hour. Of course, we'll have more coming up at 5 o'clock with Grant Olson on your NCW Life Evening News. And of course, throughout the day, check out our website at ncwlife.com for more on the stories you just heard.
Yeah, we're constantly populating our website and our Facebook page as well. Real quickly, getting back to that Payne-Bourne number, 2,000 more boardings last year than in 2016. That's
about a 2% increase from the.
That's nice.
That is.
And you and I are on the same page.
Despite the cancellations, which was really good.
You and I have talked about this off camera. Whenever I travel, whenever I fly out of Payne-Bourne.
Absolutely.
It's just so much easier.
Just so much more convenient.
Yeah.
Just getting through the TSA lines a lot quicker.
That's probably the biggest reason. But I mean, if you want to park in a long-term parking lot, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Although I found out yesterday that the biggest revenue generator for Payne-Bourne Memorial Airport are fees on parking.
Really?
Yeah, parking is the biggest revenue generator.
I did not know that. Anyway, it's kudos. That's a good thing. That's really good news.
Good stuff.
Really good news.
Really a fascinating panel yesterday too with agriculture. We'll have more on that coming up later this afternoon.
Don't forget to please get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. At the bottom of the screen is any of the numbers of ways you can do so. I guess the only way that we don't have up there is like a Western Union telegram.
True.
That's about it.
Teletype.
Teletype, there you go. Yeah. Call us, email us, go to our Facebook page and private message us. Is that it? We got it all?
I think we got it all.
All right.
Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and take it from there.
Make sure my blueberry muffin is still on your desk, Steve.
You gotcha.
24 minutes after the hour, a quick 1 minute break. When we come back, sports and everything else you're so used to. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live today from Studio 9 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
My name's Robert Duff. Current and previous occupation is architect, engineer, and a lawyer. Grew up here in Washington, born in Moses Lake. When I first came to CVCH, was looking for a place to get some dental work done. I was really impressed with the people at the counter. I mean, they were just on top of it. It only took her like 15 minutes to do the job. I didn't feel anything. The technology is so great, you don't even realize you're at the dentist. These people are so professional. I would have any one of these people in my home for dinner. These people are family.
26 minutes after the hour on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. High clouds, some light fog, 33 degrees outside of our studios. Partly sunny today and a high of 43. More spring than winter from the forecast. All right, let's do sports. Last night at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium, it was Wenatchee and Eisenhower in Big Nine Wrestling. Neither team had won a league match this year. That means something had to give, and unfortunately for the Panthers, it was the Panthers who came up short. They had a forfeit in 2 weight classes, and that was basically the difference as the Cadets defeated the Panthers 36-33. We had it live here in the NCW Live channel with our very own Eric Grandstrom.
Pretty decent crowd here on senior night tonight for this matchup between the Cadets and the Panthers. And a beautiful move by Tumading, gets a 2-point takedown. He's got that arm still. 1 second left. And the buzzer will sound. What a good match for our first one out of the box here tonight as Jacob Tumading gets the victory by a final of 6-5 over Eric Chavez. Now Contreras has both. Look out. 2-point takedown. 19 seconds. Now the reversal attempt. They give him 2 points for the reversal. The wrestlers go out of bounds. It's an 8-6 lead for Velasquez. Tips him again. Case working from the bottom, trying to get him off balance. Kean Davis still holding as he looks up at the scoreboard, realizes he's got a full minute to go, looking for the pin. He's got it! Kean Davis with the pin in the third at 170 pounds over Dustin Case. Now he's got that power half turned on. Now he's got him tipped over, got a 2-point takedown, looking for the pin. And it's a pin for Carranza. 14 seconds into the second round. The half is in. Now he's reaching around to tip him over with 18 seconds left. 17, 16, and a pin. 3 pins in a row for the Wenatchee Panthers. 23 seconds left. Now the shot by Jimenez Manriquez. The official's got to watch for a dangerous hold there. And he covers the hips, gets the 2-point takedown. 8-2 with 10 seconds left. Now Jimenez Manriquez is going to turn him loose with the shot. Steps through, but he's out of bounds. Both wrestlers are up with 2 seconds to go. Trying to put her chest on that shoulder and force her down to the mat with 30 seconds left in the round. Leading it now 4-0. Well, make it 3 more near fall points coming up. And pin! 22 seconds left in the second round. Give the pin to Kelsey Ibarra.
Yeah, it was a good match for the crowd. I wish I had a full lineup. I guess that's the biggest thing. Giving up, 12 points, spotting them, that's tough. We battled with them all the way. We won the matches we were supposed to. They won the matches they were supposed to, and we just didn't come out ahead on the chalkboard there.
For the Panther Grapplers, that will be in Prosser this weekend at the Prosser Invite. All right, here's the prep schedule for today. Take a look at what you might want to check out. All of that is your prep girls basketball schedule. Boys, it's the same schedule. It's just a little bit later on. Most of this, of course, Central Washington B League action with the one CTL game on the slate. Boys swimming and diving. Eastmont's on the road. They'll be at West Valley. And the battle for first place and the Big Nine regular season title will be decided today at the Wenatchee High School swimming pool. The undefeated Panthers host the undefeated Chiefs from Moses Lake. They will hit the pool at 4 o'clock. One wrestling match tonight. Chelan is at Pateras at 6 o'clock. Tonight is hockey night on the NCW Live channel. We always do it on Thursdays. We will feature Wenatchee's overtime game against West Kelowna for Blast Friday at the Town Toyota Center. It starts with Clarkie's Corner at 7. The game starts at about 7:10. And finally, our weekend television sports schedule looks like this. I highly encourage you to watch the Wenatchee at Eastmont girls bowling match from a couple of days ago. That will air at 7 o'clock Saturday on the NCW Life channel as Eastmont finished the regular season undefeated and Wenatchee finished in second place. It was pretty exciting stuff, I got to tell you. 30 minutes after the hour, how about the obscure holiday of the day today? Peter Roget was born in the state in 1779. He's the man who came up with the thesaurus. Roget's thesaurus. Of course, thesaurus is synonyms, words with the same or similar meaning, which beg the question, what is the synonym for thesaurus? And our producer, Caitlin, looked that out. It's for somebody who likes to write a lot, a thesaurus is an absolute essential tool. Most people, once they get through college, they put the thesaurus on the shelf and forget about it. But for me, it's one of my favorite books. It's a bit of a dry read. I'll give you that. There's not much of a plot. Happy Thesaurus Day. Dig yours out or just go online. They're everywhere now. 31 minutes after the hour today in history. It's the 18th day of January. On January 18th, 1778, James Cook was the first known European to discover the Hawaiian Islands. Boy, doesn't that look good. Yes, James Cook landed on the Hawaiian Islands and he named the islands the Sandwich Islands after the Earl of Sandwich. And two observations here. Number one, I'm glad they didn't keep that name. I mean, can you imagine that? Hey, where are you going for vacation? We're going to Sandwich. We're going to go to Sandwich and hang around the beach. Do any good. And the other question is, why in God's green earth did James Cook bother to leave? I mean, look at that. He did, and then he came back the next year, and that was it for James Cook. Anyway, James Cook landed on the Hawaiian Islands on this date 240 years ago today. 107 years ago today, January 18th, 1911, that guy, Eugene B. Ely, landed on the deck of the USS Pennsylvania in San Francisco Bay. It marked the first time an aircraft landed on a ship. That's the actual photograph. An airplane landing on a ship. And this was, what, less than 10 years after the Wright brothers and their airplane. By the way, not surprisingly, the next year, Eugene B. Ely died in a plane crash. He was kind of a stunt dude. Happened on this date 107 years ago. Today is the anniversary of Super Bowl 10, one of the very first Super Bowls I remember watching on TV. Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Dallas Cowboys in Super Bowl 10 in Miami. The final was 21-17 on January 18th, 1976. This was the last daytime Super Bowl. Every Super Bowl since Super Bowl 10, beginning with Super Bowl 11, has been, kickoff has always been held, so it will be held in prime time on the East Coast. This was the last day Super Bowl. And the reason that they started the Super Bowl in the day, because a lot of people, especially on the East Coast, would go to church services on Sunday nights, and they decided it was not a good idea to kick off on prime time on Sunday, and they eventually changed their mind on that. This was the least penalized Super Bowl in history. The Cowboys had 2 penalties for 20 yards, and Pittsburgh did not have a single flag thrown against them. And this was the very first football game ever where the referee wore a wireless microphone to announce all the penalties and the other rulings to the crowd in the stadium and the folks watching it on TV. Super Bowl 10, 42 years ago today. And on this date, 29 years ago today, January 18th, 1989, there it is. Stevie Wonder is inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the age of 38. He becomes, and is still, the youngest living person to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. One of my favorites, Stevie Wonder. God, I love his music. All right, 34 minutes after the hour. Let's do some birthdays for you. A.A. Milne was a very successful playwright. And then on a whim, he wrote a book about a little bear called Winnie the Pooh, and his whole series of Winnie the Pooh books kind of overshadowed everything he ever did. But boy, are we glad he came up with Winnie the Pooh. Obviously, Winnie the Pooh is one of the most beloved children's characters of all time. A.A. Milne was born in the state in 1882 and lived to the ripe old age of 74. He was born in the state in 1882. Oliver Hardy, one half of the greatest comedy duo of all time. Oliver Hardy was born in this state in 1892, passed away at the age of 65 in 1957. Laurel and Hardy movies, I love them. I just love them. Every comedy duo who's ever come out since Laurel and Hardy owe a debt to Laurel and Hardy. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be Andy Griffith and Barney Fife on the Andy Griffith Show, Ralph and the Honeymooners, Ed Norton and Ralph Cramden, the comedy duos. All of these people owe a great debt. They owe everything to Laurel and Hardy, Oliver Hardy, born in this state in 1892. Cary Grant was born in this state in 1904, passed away at the age of 82 in 1986. There's Cary Grant. Alfred Hitchcock said he is the only actor I ever liked. Alfred Hitchcock was well known for being just a very, very difficult director to work with. Cary Grant was the exception. North by Northwest, an affair to remember. Only Angels Have Wings. Ironically enough, Cary Grant never won a competitive Oscar. He got 2 honorary Oscars. Cary Grant, born in the state in 1904. You don't know who Pig Robbins is, but anybody who listens to music knows who Pig Robbins is. His first name is actually Hargis. Everybody calls him Pig. He's 80 years old today. He is one of the finest piano players in the history of music. He has played for Dolly Parton, Connie Smith, Patti Page, Loretta Lynn, Kenny Rogers, George Jones, Bob Dylan, Neil Young, John Hartford, Alan Jackson, Ween, Merle Haggard, Roger Miller, David Allen Coe, Mo Bandy, George Hamilton, on and on and on, Conway Twitty, every named person in the world of country, and a lot of rock and roll too. The legendary Pig Robbins is 80 years old today. He's blind, by the way, an accident at the age of 4. And finally, Kevin Costner celebrates his 62nd birthday today. The Untouchables. I mean, he had a great career. Think about this. The Untouchables, and then Bull Durham, and then Field of Dreams, and then, of course, Dances with Wolves, and then JFK, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and The Bodyguard, and then Tin Cup. And then he went and made The Postman. Never recovered from that. Happy 62nd birthday to Kevin Costner. 36 minutes after the hour. A brand new opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti. They're just a couple minutes away, and then if they haven't already escaped the building, Sarah Erdahl and Jerry Leah Crawford from the United Way of Chelan Douglas Counties will be in studio. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Dr. Ron Singleton. See how Ideal Protein can help you.
I started Ideal Protein about 10 months ago. I'm down 123 pounds and a little over 50 inches.
Using Ideal Protein, I've lost 37 pounds in just 10 weeks.
I lost over 52 pounds in 4.5 months on Ideal Protein.
This has been a wonderful journey. The food is great and it's a very easy program to follow.
This medically designed program has repeatable, safe, and effective results. Call us today to schedule your weight loss consultation.
Alone, it can be hard to reach our dreams. It can feel like you aren't welcome anywhere. When no one's there to clap. Taking on the world by yourself. But when we come together, when we lend a helping hand, when we set the stage, when you support causes you care about in your community, lives are changed. You make a difference in someone's life when you give. Imagine the impact if everyone in our community gave 10%. 10% makes a difference.
SkillSource specializes in assessing and guiding youth, adults, and laid-off workers who want to improve their skills. Here you can attend in-depth workshops to assess skills and interests, make career plans, and learn computer basics.
Learning centers provide eligible youth and adults individualized computer-assisted basic education. Vocational training is arranged with approved providers like community colleges or on the job with businesses.
Don't wait any longer. Let's get working on the future you've been dreaming about.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, serving all of North Central Washington. We make it our priority to learn all about your financial needs. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or want a reverse mortgage, Our mortgage professionals are ready to guide you through the loan process. We have a wide variety of loan products to fit your family's needs. Call Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee today for your pre-approval. 509-888-0466.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's been some backlash over the recent attention given to the issue of sexual abuse and harassment of women. Now, this might be understandable if you're not aware of the scope of the issue, so let's look at it. Supposed experts say that 1 in 4 females will be sexually assaulted in some way by the time they graduate high school. That's 25% of the female population, folks. That's terrible. Okay, but what's worse is that these same supposed experts say that these incidents are very vastly underreported. So, are we paying too much attention to the issue of sexual harassment and assaults? No, I think not. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Hi, this is Carl.
And Kathy from East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet. We are excited to be a part of this wonderful community and look forward to meeting you at East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet.
Our store is filled with name brand products at bargain prices at 40 to 60% savings. We have a large selection of natural, organic, and specialty foods.
Stop by and meet Carl, the wine guy, on Wednesday.
East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet, where you can win what you saved. Stop by soon.
So, how you guys doing?
My job starts in Portland in a month.
Can we find a buyer that fast? I think we're good. Our CBX app tells us who the best potential buyers are. We can pinpoint where the hottest prospects are located, right on this map.
2 cities over.
It even lets us set the most accurate price. Wow, it really does all that. It really does all that.
Well, help us pack?
We're working on that.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99, it's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works, yourworkoutrx.com.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Thursday, the 18th day of January 2018. I am Dan Kuntz. Had to do a little bit of arm twisting, but I finally was able to get these two lovely ladies on this program. I'm speaking about Sarah Erdahl, who's the interim executive director of the United Way of Chelan and Douglas Counties, and Jerry Leah Crawford, who's one of the two campaign co-chairs for the annual campaign, the fundraising campaign, which is underway. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dan.
It's good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Jerry Leah has been on the show, so she knows what you're in for.
I'm just excited to be in television land.
Yeah, what do you think so far?
So far, so good.
I ask, whenever I have guests on, I always ask them to please send me some talking points so I can do a little bit of homework, and Sarah sent me at a very small font, 2 pages. So this is going to be our very first 3-hour edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. First of all, you, Sarah, you are the interim executive director. Alan Walker no longer with the organization. Change is, for most people, can be difficult. You've accepted the challenge.
I really embrace change, and clearly we're living in a time where change is very fast-paced and happens on a regular basis. I think change is largely a beneficial thing, so I'm really excited about the changes that we're making at United Way.
When Alan left the organization and you've come on board as interim director, how did that whole process work? Did the president of the board call you and say we need somebody to take over for a little while? Or
the vice president, Jeremy Bonner, and I were acquainted when I was the manager of the Kashmir Chamber of Commerce. He was on the board. He's for a numbers guy, he's extremely creative and broad-minded, and he let me know that Alan was leaving and asked if I would step in for a short while, and we sat down and talked, and I said, this will probably be a 6 to 9 month process, and I'd be delighted to step in for that period.
Big learning curve?
Oh goodness. I often wished I could go back in time and make myself smart, but it was sort of fortunate that I stepped in right before the holidays, because I could just kind of hunker down and look for files and read and get acquainted with our staff and boards. So it was somewhat of a relief to have some downtime to ramp up to drink out of the fire hose.
It must have been somewhat. There must be some sort of flattery involved in that they picked you. I mean, they felt that you were the person. This is a very important position. It's high profile. It's the United Way Chelan Douglas Counties is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, nonprofit in North Central Washington. They do great work. This is a big job, and they thought you were the one who could tackle it. That's got to make you feel good.
No pressure, right?
Yeah, no pressure.
I am a problem solver, and I am absolutely committed to making our community a better place. I can't imagine a better stage to do that. You both have been involved with the United Way, so you understand the importance of the organization. So it was a tremendous honor to be asked.
And for you mentioned that, we'll go ahead in the issues of full disclosure. I was on the board of the United Way of Chelan and Douglas Counties for a number of years. I enjoyed it. For reasons that you don't care about, I was unable to, I had to leave my position on the board, and then I'm coming back, I guess.
I sure hope so.
That's the plan, anyway. Hi, Jerry Leah, how are you? She's just one. You're doing what?
Are you?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
That's
Sarah
great.
asked me last week if I would be interested in rejoining the board.
Oh, that's fantastic. I had not heard the news, so that's wonderful.
I'm definitely looking to build talent on the board. We have opportunities to
and
rebuild.
Asked me.
I know.
Jerry Leah's reaction was perfect. She didn't go, that would have been even worse.
See, there's no accounting for taste.
Yeah, there's no accounting for taste. You and Linda, you are both involved in the community. Linda Harold is a Wenatchee City Councilwoman. You are on the East Wenatchee City Council. You're the campaign co-chairs.
Yes, we're campaign co-chairs for this season, which I have learned is
expanding.
Actually, it never really ends.
No,
we're, United Way is always accepting donations and getting community contributions in. So I'm happy to be a part of it, and I love Sarah, loved Alan as well too. But so getting to work with both of them has been great. But Sarah is fantastic person to step in and take that interim role, and I'm happy to continue to cheerlead for the organization because United Way does a great job.
They do a great job. For those of you who don't know, I know, what does the job entail? What are you and Linda actually doing as campaign co-chairs?
Well, we kind of trail around and follow Sarah's lead, but really it's telling our story and how United Way has impacted us personally and how we feel that it's worthwhile to support for the community as a whole. So we're just, with our work as city council folks, we see a lot of the good work that United Way is doing. So being able to tell that story and get people to contribute and step up and help and volunteer and support that way as well.
Let's talk about the good work that United Way does. United Way 101 is essentially, United Way is sort of a conduit, if you will, of the various nonprofits. Basically, United Way says, here's money. Please spend it wisely, in a nutshell.
We have a fairly intensive vetting process
Yes,
that
very
our
much so.
agencies go through, but yes, we not only fund the good works that our partner agencies do, but we are the overall coalition builder in North Central Washington. We bring diverse agencies to work on common problems such as early learning challenges and generational poverty.
It's a wonderful organization. I'm glad to be coming back to it. I'm very excited about it. So then walk me through, the campaign is going on with Jerry Leah, and walk me through, say, the next month and a half in the world of the United Way. What's on
We
the, what's on
are
the calendar?
on the launch end, technical term, of our fiscal year, which ends on March 31st. So we are still reaching out to make presentations to companies and receiving donations of cash checks and payroll deduction, which is probably the most common way that people in the workplace give us money. So we have a long list of businesses because they're always changing as new businesses open up. So particularly because we're a regional organization, this is just taking more time than it otherwise would for smaller city-based United Ways.
The United Way as an organization outside of the Chelan and Douglas County, say there's a state organization, then there's a national organization and that kind of, how are they helping you out during this transition period?
Well, if there's somebody out there making me smart, it's certainly not only people who have been involved with United Way at the local level, but Pacific Northwest United Ways, which now encompasses Washington and Oregon. Jim Cooper, who's the director of that, is a fantastic resource. Hopefully we'll be able to bring him back, up here to meet with us sometime this spring. So it's that kind of regional context for the changes which affect United Way worldwide is really incredibly helpful.
There's a huge myth and misconception about the United Way. I'll talk specifically about the United Way of Chelan and Douglas counties, and that is the funding. People go, well, okay, I'll write a check for $100 for United Way, and $80 is going to go to administration cost, and $20 is going to go to the Bruce transitional housing. That's not true. Oh, you hear it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm glad that people want to, they want to know whether dollars are going, and they want it to be meaningful and impactful and have a largest contribution spread as possible. So, it's great that people look at that, and that's not the case with the United Way. 80% isn't going to overhead. So.
And I am really cognizant of the obligation that we have to spend our donors' money wisely. I'm a real fiscal conservative, particularly when it comes to nonprofits, because donors have faith that we are using their funds to do good in the community, and that's part of the burden that sits on all of our shoulders to ensure that we spend those monies wisely and we affect positive change.
And I'll ask you this question because I got this question all the time. Many of the nonprofits that are benefiting from the hard work of the United Way, Catholic Child Services, and I mentioned the Bruce, and all kinds of the Mustard Seed, all these little organizations. And people say, well, why don't I just give them a check directly? Why should I give the United Way money so the United Way gives them money? It's a legitimate question.
Of course, and that's the wonderful thing about donations. You want, I know my personal feelings about the charitable contributions that my husband and I make is we have a personal connection with that organization, and that is very powerful, and I think it's increasingly important given the changes we're seeing at the national level with changes in the tax law. Those personal connections help you in that vetting process that I just mentioned, where you can see firsthand how your donations are being used.
And that's important.
Absolutely.
That's important.
And I think it's valuable too that these organizations that United Way is supporting, a lot of them are very small, and they can't go out and ask for money on a real regular basis. I mean, they're doing really good work, and they're there to do the work that they're passionate about, and going and raising funds is another. It's time consuming, and it's very daunting, and it takes away from the mission that they're set out for. So having United Way be an agency that can collect that and help with that and spread it out I think it was really useful for those smaller groups. So.
And one of the most amazing success stories about the United Way, and there's a bunch of them, but there's one I want to particularly put the spotlight on it because it's just been it's exploded over the last 6-7 years, is Youth United. The Youth United program is a resounding success.
Those kids are so exciting. Youth United was one of the first meetings that I sat down and listened to when I came on board in late November. And the wonderful thing about generating that kind of enthusiasm at the student level is we're building young leaders who are going to continue to affect change in their generation, and those are wonderful seeds to plant. And they're raising funds, they're making grants of their own. They go through the same type of process that we'll be doing in a couple of months to make those funding decisions for our partner agencies. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And there's a funny little story. I was talking to one of the local, I think it was a senior at, I want to say Eastmont High School, during last year's Color Rush fundraiser down there at Pybus, and he goes, yeah, well, I did Youth United because I had to. And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, you have to put in a certain amount of hours of community service as part of your graduation requirement. Youth United seemed, they send you the list. These are the things you can do, and Youth United seemed to be the obvious thing. So a bunch of us signed up for the Youth United thing to put in our required hours. And the way he said it was kind of, he goes, turns out I liked it. He said, that's kind of fun.
That.
So,
well, and if you measure the impact of volunteerism of just these young people alone, if they had been out at a minimum wage job, through their volunteerism, they probably saved us, and by us I mean the community, over $350,000.
that's a lot of money.
That's the impact that volunteer labor can have.
That's almost what I make in a year. That's just incredible. That's great news. The Youth United Award ceremonies, which is held every year on an annual basis, they keep track of the hours. And by the way, the hours are vetted. I mean, it's that the kids can't fake the paperwork there.
No, indeed.
So it's not like it was
Sign
when I was
up.
a kid. And these kids, there's a certain amount of hours, again, as we mentioned before, that you have to put in to get your diploma. And these kids go way beyond that on most all respects. And they don't have to.
That's what I love about this community, though. There's such a strong ethic of community service. I've talked about my passions, but the reason why we have such a wonderful community is because everybody has a passion for volunteerism and community service.
You've signed up as interim director, so obviously the search is ongoing for a permanent executive director of United Way of Chelan.
Correct.
Alan came up from Ellensburg. Do you know how the search process is going? Are they going to try and find somebody who's fairly familiar with the area, or are they going to go just way out of the box? Or what do you know about that?
That's one of the things that we're still grappling with, because there are definitely people who are extremely talented who could step in at a local level, and of course that would be very beneficial, because a lot of what the executive director does is build and maintain those relationships. They're key to the success of our mission. They're key to our campaign, to have people that you know and trust as the face of our campaign. And so on that level, a local person would have a definite leg up. But the board is still, I asked them as soon as I came on board, what do you need to see before you hire a permanent executive director, and there are a variety of factors. Since we're going through a fairly profound change, what's the skill set of me 2.0 going to be? And those questions are still, they'll probably take a board meeting or two to come to some resolution on.
Are you going to play any role at all in naming your successor, so to speak, or is that strictly going to be a board thing?
Ethically, that I feel that would be unwise. I would anticipate that the board will appoint a search committee and staff it with people that can help them get there. But I'm tasked with maintaining and bridging the transition between the old and the new. We have had, I thought about this last night when we had a donor reception, the number of people who have sat in this chair, from Bill Cunningham to Alan Walker, and it's so important to maintain that high level of quality and ethically. That's choosing the successor is not my job. My job is to set the table, to make sure that when they walk in, they're going to be able to function smoothly.
Well, if Jerry Leah wasn't doing such great guns at the chamber, I'd say she might be a pretty good candidate.
I agree,
Yeah,
totally.
so.
It takes good partnerships.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
need the partnerships.
For the second show in a row, my record fell over. I gotta maybe tape it up to the computer. Sarah, it's good to see you.
Thank you, Dan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jerry Leah, keep up the good work.
Yeah, and congratulations on maybe getting on the board. I'm
Yes,
excited
yes.
about that.
I'm a big softie. What are you gonna do? Everybody, have yourself a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.